Welcome to the podcast. I'm Brother Branch and servant of the Lord. To God be the glory. Yes, to God be the glory for his marvelous blessing that he bestows upon you and I each and every day. I want to thank you for taking time out your busy day to learn more about prison ministry. For years now, we've been talking about prison ministry through this podcast. And yet there may be some new people, someone who may not fully understand what God's ministry is all about. And that's exactly what it is. This is God's ministry. It is God's ministry because of the Great Commission. And so today we're going to go through the various aspects of prison ministry that you might know that you don't have to always go inside the prison, but there's work, so much work to be done outside the prison. So today we'll start with defining what prison ministry is all about. Prison ministry is a Christ-centered work of evangelizing, discipling, and caring for people impacted by crime and incarceration, those who are incarcerated and their spouse, children, parents, and other family members. You see, oftentimes we think of prison ministry as just those who are behind prison walls, but it's so much more. We must remember that for everyone who is locked up, they left someone on the other side of the wall, a family member, be it a child, a spouse, a parent, a sibling, someone else is in prison with them. And so we must understand that prison ministry is much greater than going inside. It's Christ-centered because it's God's ministry. And God has asked each of us to care for all of his people so that they might become faithful followers of Jesus Christ in every stage of their life. And so when we think about prison ministry, we want to look at prison ministry probably from a different perspective. You see, the Bible sets the foundation. The Great Commission, Matthew 28, 18 through 20, means that at least three things for families of the incarcerated, the families and children are prisoners. We go to them with the gospel and share the gospel that they too might come to know Jesus Christ, making disciples of family members as well as those inside the prison, baptizing them on both sides of the prison walls. They are the least of these. Yes, prisoners, families, they are the least of these. They are stigmatized. Many are in shame, don't even want families or others to know that they have a loved one that's incarcerated. They have tremendous hardships because many times the one who is incarcerated is or was the breadwinner. And now because of that, the income, the social life, all of those things begin to change and the emotional trauma sets in. And so prison ministry through the Great Commission says that if you and I are doing God's work, that is the Great Commission, how then can we leave prison ministry out? You see, the Great Commission says, go to all the world. All the world means every single one, that we cannot leave out anyone. It says, go and make disciples of all nations, teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. You see, it's an evangelistic. Pastors and reverends and clergy talk about baptism and evangelizing and bringing people into the church. There's a whole field, a whole missionary field out there called prison ministry that we all need to partake of, that each one of us can be an asset, a tool in which God has called us to do. This Great Commission fits prison ministry because it's clear. The mandate says, go, make disciples of all nations. So the question would be, how then could you do the Great Commission and leave out prison ministry? I would suggest that it's not possible. It's not possible because God has asked us to be disciple making of everyone, not to leave anyone out. This would include Bible study, leadership development, sharing Jesus with everyone. That is the goal, to share Jesus with everyone, regardless whether they're incarcerated or not, a family member of someone who's incarcerated or not. It's a global and cross-cultural thing. It is crossing language barrier. It is all about us doing the work that God has set for each one of us to do. It's a commitment not something we just start today and do for a little while, but it's a lifelong commitment. The reason why? Because the Great Commission is lifelong. It's nothing that we would just start and finish. For if we're working for the Lord, we'll be working for the Lord for the rest of our lives. And so prison ministry is divided into these different areas that we're focused on today. Number one, prayer warriors. Number two, letter writing. Number three, angel tree. Number four, reentry. Number five, video conferencing. Number six, family ministry. And then number seven, worship inside prison walls. You see, not everyone will have all seven components of these, but you can learn about them and find out how you can get involved with each one of them. Prayer warriors. That's a simple ministry, but it touches so many lives. It is all about praying for the families and for the individuals. Prayer sessions in small groups. We provide a list. From those who are going inside, they have access to those. They can give them their prayers, their prayer requests, and bring them out and give them to small groups. And then they pray over that prayer request and those individuals. And then the second part of it is that we create postcards with prayers on it, and then we mail them to them. Mailing postcards to individuals with prayer on the back, letting them know that we have not forgotten them, letting them know the importance of prayer and the power behind prayer. Each postcard is reviewed before it goes out. And so we make sure that your personal information is protected. Your name never appears on the card. Your address never appears on the card. What appears on the card is a P.O. box that connects the inmate with our letter writing. So therefore, when an inmate receives that postcard with that prayer on it, who the prayer warriors have been praying about, when they become excited, say, I'd like to reach out to them. And what the address does is connects them to letter writing. Letter writing, providing the opportunity for them to be a pen pal. You see, prayer works in so many different ways. And each one of us know and understand what prayer is all about. And so we want to include this as part of our ministry. It does not require you to go inside. It's simply a commitment to pray for someone else. That's what Jesus asked us to do, to pray for others. And so when we look at how prayer warriors then connect with letter writing is a ministry that we have that is reaching across this country. We're writing in over 70 different prisons with over 100 different inmates. They are looking for someone to share the gospel, someone to communicate with outside prison walls. And so it is a ministry in where you can share Jesus, you can bring hope, you can bring encouragement, and never set foot inside the prison walls. We have a letter writing manual that we train you on. Make sure that you understand how this ministry works. We also make sure that your personal information is protected in this as well. And so we'll show you a quick video about how letter writing works.
This is Terry. For 24 years, Terry has been writing letters to men and women in prison. And though they are scattered across the country and have very different backgrounds, Terry connects with each of them.
I have 16 of them, and they are my dearest friends.
Terry is a volunteer instructor for Crossroad Bible Institute. She reviews inmates' Bible lessons and writes them handwritten letters of encouragement.
I'm very, very personal in my letters. I like the communication. They feel free to talk to me about their problems. One of my students, James, off the streets of Los Angeles, he didn't have any education, but he had to sell drugs to keep his mama going. He would write me 4-page letters, and I just loved every one of them. I have Saul. He was put in prison because he was charged with murder. But when I got his letter, he said, "But I did not murder Terry." And I believed him. He has been very prompt in all his lessons. He was a counselor in hospitals, clinics, and so forth. But he was sent to jail. I just got a letter last week saying, Terry, it's been overturned. And he said I was counseling for my own prestige. But now, when I get out, I'm going to be counseling to the glory of God. And that just, I had the chills and I had a few tears.
Terry also volunteers in the Crossroad Home Office, answering phones and encouraging other instructors.
That has been such joy because I hear these 80 and 85-year-olds saying, I never shared Christ before. And I said, and so when I'm on the phone, I'll say, isn't it a wonderful blessing? So that I can bless them and they can encourage me also. Many of the instructors have said, oh, I look at prison in an entirely different way now. I go past a prison and they are people created by God and He cares about them. I just encourage anybody, just any age, it will be the greatest blessing in your life that you've ever had. And to think that you're a part of God's kingdom and ministry is such a wonderful thing.
And so I just encourage anyone that has the desire to do letter writing to understand the need for that. And we provide the training. The training takes about an hour and a half or so. We cover everything in detail. We make sure that all your questions are answered. And then we provide all the tools that you would need to get involved with letter writing. We have coordinators who will take charge of making sure that you have the address, the correct address, and read over your letters to make sure they're right and to make sure that you're not putting anything personal in there or anything that would help identify. We encourage you to use a pen name and use a P.O. box or some other address so that your personal information is not part of that. And so if you have a desire to help out, to share the gospel, the encouragement to someone, the inmate on the other side, we send them a contract that they fill out to understand the do's and don'ts so they know that this is not about having a relationship that sets up for someone that may be looking for marriage or anything else, but that this is all about doing God's work and introducing them to God through letter writing. So if you're interested, let us know. We'll make sure you're trained. We'll make sure that you can be a pen pal for someone. You see, mail call in the prison is the loneliest time for an inmate because in many cases, they've severed communications outside. Their family is all on the inside. For whatever reason, they don't have anyone on the outside that's communicating to them. And so to share the gospel would be one of the things that they would like to have happen. And so we encourage you to think about being a letter writer. As we continue with our aspects of prison ministry, Angel Tree is another ministry that we do. Angel Tree falls under prison fellowship. And what happens in this ministry is that the inmates, they sign up for their children to receive gifts. And once they sign up, then the local churches in the community, they then sign up through Angel Tree and Prison Fellowship. Prison Fellowship then sends those names to the community. So, for example, my church, folks within a 30 to 40, 50 mile radius would receive information about those who have loved ones who are incarcerated. They give us their contact information, and then we call them and ask if they would like to receive a gift for their children. And once we do that, then we select the gifts that they've requested. We put a tree or a board in our church where members can come in and select a child's name, purchase the gifts, and then we make sure they get them to them. There's several ways that you can do that. You can invite the families to your church or to a recreation center. You can send them out by Amazon. You can deliver them, just whatever you would like to do. But the point is that we want to bless and allow God to bless them through our giving for these children. Angel Tree is much more than just Christmas time. They also offer camps for the incarcerated. And so there are camps across the country. You could sponsor a child, or you could actually ask the family that you've been involved with through Angel Tree if they would like to have their child to attend a camp. And so Angel Tree is a year-round program. It brings a gift from the incarcerated to their child, letting them know that there's a connection that's still in place. And so for those families, this is crucial. And we invite you in your church to become part of Angel Tree. As we'll watch a video about what Angel Tree does for those individuals.
1.5 million children have a simple wish this Christmas: to feel loved and remembered. When a parent goes to prison, families are torn apart, and all too often children are left feeling lonely and ashamed. The separation can feel even worse at Christmas. With Angel Tree, you could be the hands and feet of Jesus to hurting families in your community who have a loved one behind bars. You can remind children they are never forgotten, and it starts with a gift. Angel Tree volunteers deliver a present, the gospel, and a personal message of love to children on behalf of their incarcerated parents. It's amazing to watch how a gift from that mom or dad can light up their child's eyes, and to see the relief on the faces of caregivers. And it starts with the gift. What a testimony of God's love it is to the incarcerated parent when you provide a gift to their child in their name to close the distance between them on Christmas morning. With the help of volunteers across the country, Angel Tree has delivered more than 11 million gifts to children on behalf of their incarcerated moms and dads since 1982. It all starts with a gift.
Like to thank Angel Tree because they helped us stay connected with our dad.
Thank you, Angel Tree, for doing all that you do, because you don't have to do this, but you choose to do it, and I really appreciate it.
Angel Tree is really making a difference in my life right now because I feel like a part of my family. I would like to tell any and every volunteer from the Angel Tree program, thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you guys do.
For you and your church, Angel Tree Christmas can begin an ongoing, life-giving relationship with prisoners' families. You can help precious children strengthen their connection with their incarcerated parent, grow in their faith, and learn that they are overcomers with great, God-given purpose.
Angel Tree is important because it makes an effort to consciously include people, intentionally include people. I know it's real easy for these families to feel left behind and feel like no one cares. It's again, this part of wanting to show tangible love in a way that people actually need. It's helping people where they are in a way that they can appreciate.
Many Angel Tree churches continue connecting with children and families through year-round ministry, such as Angel Tree camping and church programs such as Vacation Bible School and Youth Group.
Thank you, Angel Tree.
Thank you, Angel Tree.
You give a gift. Families unwrap hope. What better way to celebrate the birth of Jesus, the greatest gift of all?
So when we think about Angel Tree, when we think about a commitment, think about there's a child, there's a family that's in need year round. And so we encourage you to get involved with Angel Tree. Go to Prison Fellowship, look up underneath the resources, locate churches, and then register your church. You can make a connection. You can make a difference to a child that's in need, a child whose parent or parent is incarcerated. That's what Angel Tree does. It reflects God's love to everyone. And so we encourage you to do that. Next part of the ministry that we talk about is that when this part of the community reaches out to these families, just imagine a stranger calling you that you don't know and says to you, we would like to provide for your child this Christmas. Let us know what your child would like to have. We'd like to sponsor your child to a camp. Let us know if you're interested in it. So Angel Tree reaches out. The other part of our presentation deals with video conferencing. Video conferencing is relatively new for some folks, but what it does, it allows live connection, like a Zoom meeting in a way, where GTL allows the families to connect with the incarcerated, a 20-minute or a 50-minute presentation where they can see each other live and talk to one another. You can get a chance to check on your loved one and just see what they look like. For some, the drive is too far away. For others, they may not even have transportation. And so this serves as a tool where the families can stay connected. At our local churches, we have 4 different churches in the Potomac Conference that is reaching out through video conferencing that allow the families to come to their church. They sign up through the prison, meet all the qualifications through that, and then the prison sends us the names of the individuals who's coming and the time and who they're meeting with, so that they can have the opportunity to see their loved ones. And so we encourage you to consider video conferencing. That is done through assisting families of inmates in the state of Virginia. And right now, that's the only one that's happening across. But also in many places, they now have tablets where families can do video conferences and computers through that very same thing. Reentry is one of our biggest and most needed programs in prison ministry. It is all about those who are leaving the prison and have to reconnect, not only with family, but with the community, to understand what that's all about, to understand the needs. Some have been incarcerated 30, 40, even 50 years. And so lots have changed. And so there is a need to help them with transportation, a need to help get Social Security identification, driver's license, medical appointments, and so much more. This jobs, housing, all of this falls under the reentry. And so we encourage you to understand the need for reentry in our society. And so we'll look at what reentry looks like, how it impacts our individual in a very quick video.
One thing we must do as a nation is welcome our returning citizens back to the community. But we need to make sure that when they come back, they're ready to do so. You know nationally that over 2/3 of those who leave prisons actually return within 3 years. That's a big challenge. One way to address that is to invest in them before they leave. I had a chance to visit the prison entrepreneurship program in Texas, where the recidivism rate is only 7%. And they do 4 things. Number 1, there's a course focused on character development. Number 2, there's a course focused on entrepreneurship. Number 3, there's a business plan competition. And number 4, once you leave, there are support services they provide. I think the program is a step in the right direction. Once you teach someone who's returning home how to take care of themselves, they can take care of themselves, their family, and ultimately the nation. By investing in people and investing in human dignity, we invest in parents, we invest in human assets, but more importantly, we make a safe and sound nation for ourselves. So what do you think can be done to help returning citizens from prison? Also tell us what ideas AEI scholars should focus on in 60 seconds.
So reentry, folks leaving and coming back to our society, for they're coming out by the thousands each and every day. And so we have to be prepared to receive them. But more importantly than receiving them, we have to help them get readjusted. And reentry does just that. Reentry usually starts about a year, 18 months out, because we have to understand what the needs of the individual is and the needs of the area that they're trying to go to. Sometimes they have a designated area they must go to. And so we try to help with employment. We try to help with getting to understand about the local area that they may be at. Transitional housing is a big issue for a lot of folks that are leaving. And so when we look at prison ministry, we see that prison ministry is much more than just going inside the prison. Although we go inside the prison, although we spend time inside the prison, it is not what we do overall. Matter of fact, it is the smaller portion of what we do inside the prison. You see, prison ministry is worship inside the prison. We do Bible study, we do baptism, we do training, discipleship inside that. And so, even though most people think the definition of prison ministry is going inside the prison, I want you to understand there's so much more. And more of the work is done outside of the prison than inside the prison. And so I pray that as you look at this presentation we did today, the different aspects of prison ministry, that you would prayerfully consider giving your heart to God about where does God want you to work in prison ministry? How can I make a difference in my family, in my church, in my community? What is it that God would have me to do when it comes to prison ministry? Again, Matthew 28:18-20, the Great Commission says, "And Jesus came and spoke unto them, saying, All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations." God is directing you and I to go forth. Go ye, that's you and I. Therefore, that's everywhere. All over there are prisons, and God is calling you and I to do just that. So think about it, pray about it, what you would want to do with prison ministry. God bless you.